to everyone who is connecting right now for today's session. We're here today for the Applichat's Healthcare webinar on 5 ways healthcare organizations can become a most loved workplace. My name is Alice Liu, and I'm an account manager with Applichat Healthcare. Applichat works with healthcare organizations in the US and Canada to help them find and hire more nurses. Our specialty is sourcing passive nurse candidates from outside of job board. So we are able to bring a bigger audience of nurses to our clients' vacancies. We also screen and engage with every applicant to make sure they are a good fit for our healthcare clients. To find out more about what we do and to access our free resources, please check out Patrick's online business card. We'll put a link in the chat. On that website, you can do the following. Join our Nurse Recruitment Secrets Facebook group to share and learn more great ideas regarding nurse recruitment. Subscribe to our monthly Nurse Recruitment Secret newsletter. View all of our past webinars on nurse recruitment and sign up for our future free online events. And you can also connect with Patrick to learn more about Applichat Healthcare's nurse sourcing services. Feel free to send him a message here in the chat or on LinkedIn as well. For today's webinar, we will discuss a remarkable achievement by Springfield Clinic, which is a healthcare organization located in Central Illinois. Springfield Clinic was recently named to Newsweek's list of America's 100 most loved places 2022. That's amazing. We'll hear from Elizabeth and Jake from Springfield Clinic about how the organization accomplished this and how this impact their employee recruitment and retention efforts. So on that note, I'd like to introduce today's speaker. Patrick Tilley is the Chief Operating Officer of Applichat Healthcare. He has been with Applichat Healthcare for over 2 years, and he previously worked as a senior manager in the Canadian criminal justice system for more than 25 years. Hi, Patrick.
Hi, Alice. Hi, Jake and Elizabeth.
Hi.
Yes, and our guests from Springfield are Elizabeth McCoy, Director of Employee Relationship and Business Support, and Jake Schien, Talent Acquisition Consultant. Hi, Elizabeth and Jake.
Hi.
Hey, guys. Thanks for having us.
Welcome.
Yes, welcome. So Elizabeth has worked in talent acquisition and human resources for more than 12 years and has been with Springfield Clinic since 2017. Jake has been involved in talent acquisition since 2016 and joined Springfield Clinic in 2020. I'd like to add that Springfield Clinic is a client of Applichat Healthcare. And as your account manager, I can say that we are very proud to work with you and help you recruit nurses. So thanks for your ongoing partnership and the amazing work you do to support your employee team. Now to today's audience. We love it when the webinar is interactive. So please post your question and comments in the chat during the session, and we'll try to get to them. Thanks again to everyone for joining us today. And now I'll turn over to Patrick to start the discussion.
Awesome. Thanks so much, Alice. And yeah, again, welcome, Jake and Elizabeth. Thanks so much for joining us. This is a really interesting topic, and I think pretty exciting because Springfield Clinic has been named to Newsweek's list of America's 100 most loved workplaces 2022. And I want to point out that you're not on the list of the 100 most loved healthcare workplaces. You're on the list of the top 100 workplaces in all of America, right? And that is really amazing. So I was pretty excited to see that, and because you are one of our clients and we know the hard work you do. So I thought it would be really interesting to talk to you, to hear about your experience of getting on the list. And then as we talked about before today, you've identified 5 things that you work really hard on that you think are really key to making your employees satisfied and to draw more employees to come work with you and stay with you. So I really appreciate that you're willing to join us today and share those top 5 things. But let's start, if we could start really briefly, what was your reaction when you found out you were named to this list and the reaction of your team?
Yeah, Yeah, Noel, we really appreciate you guys having us, and we've really enjoyed working with your company as well. It was a really fun time because we knew that we potentially could become one of Newsweek's 100 most loved workplaces, but when we found out that we had made the list, we know we love working here. We know that the clinic is doing a lot of really fun things and a lot of really great things, but it was really fun to hear. This is the result of hundreds of employees putting forth their thoughts and anonymously, and so it was really fun to see. You're absolutely right. It wasn't just healthcare, but it was across the nation, and we're on the list with a lot of really, really great companies. And so it was just a lot of fun from my end.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
absolutely. Yeah. And we partnered with Best Practice Institute to survey all of our employees, and that data was compared against hundreds of other employers nationwide. And that's how we ended up on the list.
Yeah, fantastic. I was going to say, in addition to the employee surveys, which is obviously a huge part of it, the article mentions that Newsweek looked at external public ratings. They interviewed officials from your organization, and they did their own other external research as well. So yeah, really interesting. And I think, like as I said, the employee surveys would have been a really critical part of that. And yeah, really exciting. So congratulations again.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Yeah, we're very
Before
excited.
we jump into the top 5 things that you've identified, could you give us just a quick overview of Springfield Clinic for those who don't know you?
Yeah, absolutely. So Springfield Clinic is a multi-specialty clinic in Illinois. So we have everything from primary care to over 80 specialties and subspecialty areas. Altogether, we've got over 3,500 employees. We've got 650 physicians and advanced practice practitioners. And we have over 90 locations, serve patients in over 20 counties in Illinois.
Wow.
Right. So we're, on an annual basis, we have over 2 million patient visits a year. So, we're in the community, serving the community, and the reputation of the clinic has kind of spoken for itself. So they do some really great work here.
Fantastic. Well, getting on a list like that as a most loved workplace, it's not automatic, and it doesn't come without a lot of hard work. And as I mentioned, you've identified 5 real key program areas that you work on that you'd like to share with our healthcare audience about what got you on the list, but more importantly, made you a workplace that is desired by and appreciated by your staff. So let's jump right into that. If you could share with us your list, and I know at the top of the list, you want to start off by talking about your internal growth opportunities.
Yeah, so it was tough to narrow the list down to 5, but I think these are some pretty key components to what got us on the list. And internal growth opportunities are huge at Springfield Clinic. We love to promote from within and provide opportunities for our employees to grow. So there's a lot of programs we have in place to help with this, and I want to touch on a few of those programs today. The first of which is our Clinical Support Assistant program. We call them CSAs here at the clinic, and this is for individuals who want to get into the healthcare field, but don't exactly know where to start or what position would be a good fit. There's so many different options out there. So this program enables new employees to come in and get some hands-on training in different clinics and go through a boot camp style training. And then at the end of one working year, they'll have the opportunity to be certified as either a medical assistant, a phlebotomist, or as an ophthalmic assistant in our ophthalmology department. So there's 3 different pathways they can take, and it's a really cool opportunity for someone to get their feet wet in healthcare and see what area is going to be a good fit for them.
Right.
Oh, so
I think when we were initially looking at the clinic and the direction that we were going, as we all know, it's no surprise that staffing shortages have come up, especially in healthcare. And so we really got creative when we said, how can we start growing our own talent, and what pathways can we provide for our own people? And so the CSA program was really born out of that. Is there was a lot of need, and we said, well, we have the skill set, we have people who know and are working in these roles. We have some amazing preceptors, amazing trainers, amazing clinical development team. And so there was a ton of partnership across the organization in multiple areas, where we then just developed this program and are giving our own employees the opportunity where they might not otherwise have had a chance to go to school and become certified in these different areas. So we're really excited about that.
Absolutely.
That's great.
Another good example of this is our LPN program. And this is for internal employees who want to further their education, go back and get a nursing degree. And this is a program that employees have to apply to, interview for, and be accepted into. But once they are accepted into this program, they get to earn their current salary. So whatever position they're coming from, whether it be a medical assistant, patient access, they get to earn that salary while they attend school, which is also paid for by the clinic. So not only are they getting a free education, they're also getting paid for during that time. Wow. So there's a lot of
huge value.
Absolutely.
Massive, yeah.
Yeah, huge value. And there's a lot of people who want to go back and continue their education, but financially that may not be an option for them. So this really provides a great pathway for them.
After we spoke the other day, when you mentioned this to me, I noticed it popped up on my LinkedIn that the clinic had posted about one of your staff who successfully got through the program and is now an LPN. So that's pretty awesome. So if people want to check out the Springfield Clinic LinkedIn, you'll see that case example. So that's cool. Thanks for sharing that. Great. Absolutely. Okay. What else do you have within your internal growth opportunities?
Yeah, we also have an RN student externship, and this is a cool opportunity for people who are in school to get their RN degree. Over their Christmas break or their summer break, they can work at the clinic in a limited capacity and get some hands-on experience in the clinic setting. A lot of nursing schools focus a lot more on like hospital nursing experience. So this is a cool opportunity for nursing students to learn more about the clinic setting and what that's like. So that's another cool program we have. We've also got strong partnerships with a lot of the local schools in the area. So there's an LPN school that we partner with, and a lot of their students come to the clinic to do their clinical rotations, so they get a good sense of what it is like to work in the clinic setting as well. Same can be said with CMAs. So we partner with a technical institute in Springfield, and a lot of their students do their medical assisting externship with us and end up working here after they get certified. So it's a nice way for us to get individuals from those programs.
That's really important, to get a connection with individuals, and they're likely to have some loyalty or some interest in working with you once they know what it's like to work with you, right? So those are all great ways to do that.
Yeah, absolutely. We've done a lot of development of our clinical side and the clinical staff, but one of the other pieces that we really identified and put into motion a few years back is our operations rotation program. And that's really for developing managers. And so, for individuals who are looking to get into management, or maybe they have demonstrated really high potential and are internal, they can apply for our operations manager rotation program. And that program basically allows an individual to rotate through different specialties in the organization, and they get hands-on management experience. They get to learn from other leaders who are in the organization. They get to learn some of the different specialties. They get to learn how operations work, the financial side of things. So they get a really full scope. And then by the time they're ready to graduate from that program, they're then placed in and given a clinic of their own to manage. And so they get placed permanently in a location. So it's another way of adding that value and continuing to develop our own people. Because we have a lot of great talent here, but how are we continuing to develop, and how are we continuing to pour into them? So
and it's so important to keep the people you have, right? So all of these program areas are about keeping the people you have, keeping them interested and loyal to the organization, and keeping their corporate knowledge instead of having to move off and bring new people in. So that's fantastic.
Yeah,
better
absolutely.
to recruit within than from outside.
Yes. Yeah. Definitely.
That's great. I'll just share that Suzanne posted in the chat that she says proving impact and return on investment ensures continued funding for these fantastic programs. So I'm sure you're doing that, but of course data collection and evaluation, showing the results is, as Suzanne points out, really critical to making sure that you have budget and encouragement and support to focus on some of these, even if they're low cost. Some of them are higher cost than others, but that's a good point from Suzanne. Great. Okay. Anything else in leadership and development, the internal growth opportunities area?
Yeah, the last thing I'll mention real quick is we've got additional classes and resources available through our learning and development team. So I've had the opportunity to take classes like emotional intelligence and how to manage your boss. So there's a variety of opportunities that our learning and development team offers for all employees who are interested in leadership as well.
Fantastic. Great. Well, you have a lot of features within that internal growth opportunities area. So thanks for sharing that. All sounds really valuable. And Elizabeth, I think you wanted to speak about serving community as another key element of why your employees like to work for Springfield Clinic.
Yeah. Well, within Springfield Clinic, there's really 3 pillars that we have as an organization, and that's, improving health, serving community, and providing value. And so, this really goes back to not just our patients, but how are we doing each of these things for our staff? And serving community is a really big one. Springfield Clinic has a program called SC Gives, and it really is an opportunity for us as an organization to give back to the community that we are currently serving in. It's a cool opportunity for our employees to get involved, be present. We identify various organizations that are doing some really great work in a variety of places where we're located. And, we offer opportunities for our employees to volunteer. And so it's another way of, continuing to give back. So, we have a school supply drive where all of these clinics and support functions we're coming and bringing school supplies and backpacks. And, we have food drives, and we have park cleanup days, and, just a number of things because, there are so many great organizations in the communities that we're serving. And so how are we continuing to get plugged in and give our employees the opportunity to serve those different places as well? So, serving the community is much more than providing healthcare for them. We also have a responsibility to give back in other ways with other resources that we have. So it's another means for our employees to get plugged in, and it's fun to see our employees, might have a certain connection with an organization that we're making a donation to or contributing with, and for them to see us giving back to that organization that they love so much is really meaningful.
Yeah, I was going to say that most, if not all of those organizations, they're in your community. So I'm sure they're a partner of Springfield Clinic in some way, right? Many of them. And
sure.
All of this is really valuable to build your team, build a connection among the team, and it really contributes to the culture of your organization too, when you're doing more than just your assigned job, right? You're contributing in other ways.
Yeah. And I think it kind of goes back to, how do you identify intrinsic and extrinsic motivators for people? And, there's a lot more than just getting a paycheck or, having good benefits. Those are both very important things and things that we definitely value. But there are other things to making a great organization. And when we identify intrinsic motivators and things that are important to people, that's important for us to get back to those things.
Wonderful. Great. Okay, so the next one that you had mentioned was employee engagement, and I know you have a whole bunch of features within this area. And in fact, a lot of the things you're talking about today probably fall under employee engagement, but I know you have a list of a number of things you wanted to mention under this topic.
Yeah, so we love employee engagement at Springfield Clinic. We love a loose culture, keeping our employees motivated, and offering opportunities to stay engaged in the workplace and also outside of work as well. So the first topic I'll touch on is Employee Appreciation Week. And this is actually coming up here later in November in a couple weeks. And this is really an opportunity for leadership to show staff how much they appreciate them. And there's something a little bit different every day. It's almost like a homecoming week or a spirit week for employees. So there's always some fun activities. And we've found out things during this week in the past, like, having additional time off around the holidays. Employees have been able to receive gifts in the past as well. So there's always something fun and exciting for employees during Appreciation Week.
Great. Sounds like fun.
Yeah. We also there's a lot of cool activities outside of the workplace too. Springfield Clinic has hosted 5Ks in the past. And during COVID, we had a virtual 5K, which was, we couldn't all gather in one place, but it was fun because when everybody's cooped up inside their homes, this gave us a chance to get out, get some exercise. We still got the fun t-shirts and the fun swag that you get at a 5K. So that was
people
cool.
are getting out of their house and running. They're not running on a treadmill.
They could.
Right.
I mean, they could run on the treadmill, but we're having people take pictures of themselves, doing these activities and submitting them to our site.
Awesome.
And so
good for you for finding a way to keep that going. And
still a sense of community.
Yeah, right. Absolutely. Everybody got to post their times as well. So there was still some friendly competition going on too. So that was fun. We also had, group yoga activities, snow cone trucks on our campus, which has been fun. And then my personal favorite is the sand volleyball tournament.
Yeah.
I got to participate this year. Me and Elizabeth were on a team together.
Yep.
And we had an HR team, and we did not do very well, but it was...
We gave it our best.
We
gave it a good shot.
Yeah.
Good for you for getting out there.
That's right.
Yeah, there's a lot of different departments that come up with fun team names. So it's just a really good day. Lots of good camaraderie and fun amongst staff from different areas. So.
Oh, that's cool. Good stuff. Awesome. Well,
yeah.
Thanks so much for sharing that.
Absolutely.
Anything else under the employee engagement area?
Yeah, a couple other things. So we've got a digital platform called Engage SC, and this is something that we can access from our intranet page. And it's a way that we can recognize birthdays and work anniversaries, or just a general place that we can give kudos to employees. So that's been super fun to use as well. And then in addition to all of these company-wide events, a lot of individual teams get together and do, happy hours or potlucks.
Right.
Our TA team had set a goal at the beginning of August for a certain number of hires. And last week we all just got together and went bowling. So there's flexibility for teams to choose.
I take it you met your goal then.
Oh, we crushed it.
They did awesome. They always meet their goal. They're great.
Congratulations. Great to hear. Good for you.
So yeah, that was fun. So there's flexibility for, teams to kind of do something that's important to them.
Yeah, for sure. I think for the organization, what I've really seen is it really starts from the top down. It really starts from, our CEO and our admin team, our C-suite team. I mean, they're very supportive of, our employees and the culture that we're creating, and our HR team, and are just wonderful when it comes to supporting that messaging and really working to engage our employees. And that really rolls down to our director team, our managers, and our staff. And so I think that's a huge piece to continue to keep people engaged.
Yeah, and as you mentioned, and we talked about throughout this whole conversation, it's all about the culture, right? So the culture of the organization is so important to making people enjoy being there, appreciate going to work, wanting to come to work, but also wanting to stay with you, and then tell their friends and maybe apply to come work with you. So yeah, it's great. That's really important to have that top-down approach and really impacting the culture in a positive way. Okay, that's great.
Yeah.
Thanks so much. So we couldn't talk about why employees want to work for an organization without talking about benefits and compensation, especially, that's really challenging. It's been more and more challenging over the last 2 or 3 years, complicated times. So let's talk about what Springfield Clinic has done to try and be creative and address the challenges around benefits.
Sure.
Yeah, so I know this is everybody's favorite topic, but we'll start with compensation. And Springfield Clinic is a pay-for-performance organization, so we really want to reward our top performers with good merit increases. And our compensation team also performs yearly market reviews just to ensure that our pay ranges are competitive with within the market. We also offer sign-on bonuses for a lot of our tough-to-fill positions, so another way that we can get some applicants from various places.
Right.
And minimum wage is another topic I'll hit on. Here in Illinois, minimum wage is increasing to $15 an hour in 2025. But Springfield Clinic has taken the stance to implement a $15 an hour minimum wage starting earlier this year. So just another way we can kind of stay ahead of the curve and be ready for what's coming.
Great.
Yeah, so referrals are another great way that we love. We love referrals here at the clinic. So we have an amazing talent acquisition team, but to be a successful organization, it takes everybody recruiting, right? So it's a great way to reward our current employees. And oftentimes some of the best hires that we have come from an employee who was referred.
That's great. And often the employees well, first of all, it says a lot about your organization if your existing staff are telling their friends this is a great place to work. And second of all, the research shows that employees that are referred to an organization by a coworker or a friend who becomes a coworker are more likely to stay with the organization. The retention rates are better. So that's fantastic. It's always great to hear when an organization has an employee referral program that's working well. Awesome.
Yeah. Oh yeah. We've had really good success since rolling that out. And, we have found that some of our best hires are people who are referred, from our employees. So that has been really successful for us.
Wonderful. Great. Congrats on that as well.
Yeah. Thanks. Yeah. I think the other piece with comp that's always tied to it is benefits, right? And,
Yeah.
I think kind of going back to the 3 pillars that are really important to us is, improving health. And that doesn't just mean for our patients. We understand that, yes, that is important, but we are also patients here, which is kind of unique, in our, in the industry that we're in. So, we understand that in order for anyone to serve anyone else, for us to serve our patients well, our employees have to first be cared for, and they have to be healthy. And so our goal is really to create an environment and a culture that meets our employees' needs. They're meeting our families' needs. And so, we really took a look at what is valuable to our staff, what is valuable to their family, and what's important to them. And we really prioritized a goal this year to do a full benchmarking of our benefit program, and then really strategize on how we can better enhance those benefits and improve them to become more competitive. So we really took a look at all of that. And honestly, it first started with listening to our employees. We want to give our employees a voice. We want them to feel like they're heard. A lot of times that trickled up through the manager, up through the director, hit our desk, and we truly took that to heart and just made a pretty comprehensive list of the feedback that we were getting. And we said, okay, how are we going to redesign a program that better suits the needs of our employees and their families based on what we're hearing? And then how are we going to incorporate that feedback to better enhance our benefits?
Fantastic.
So we have made a lot of changes. We've implemented a lot of really great things, but it's all based on the feedback. And I think the exciting thing is then it's also now being confirmed by the survey. And so, a few of those changes that we are implementing is, the first thing that we're doing is we are adding employer paid short-term disability.
Okay.
In previous years, employees would have to pay for that benefit. Now we're making it employer paid. That's a huge win.
Right.
So employees don't, if they do have to be out for an extended period of time, the clinic is, again, it's a way of showing that we care about them and we're invested in that.
Again, it takes so much pressure off the employee. They're more likely to be healthy, more relaxed, and more likely to be committed to the organization if they don't have that other stress. Right?
Absolutely. And the money that they may have spent on short-term disability, then that money is freed up to pour into other benefits that may be more important to them. So another thing that we added this year and are offering it actually right now, it's open enrollment right now, is our supplemental benefits. And so we have 3 additional supplemental benefits that are really, really valuable. If the employee has a hospital stay or critical illness or something like that, we've also added some additional supplemental benefits that they're going to be really valuable to them. Yeah, so we've taken a look at those. In addition to a lot of those benefits, we also took a look at our PTO plan, and we have completely revamped our PTO plan. But one of those big changes is that we are adding a floating holiday. So we had a lot of people who would reach out to us and they'd say, hey, are you going to recognize such and such holiday? And, when we really put our heads together and we're thinking about this, we're like, gosh, we have employees from so many different cultures and so many different backgrounds that one specific day may not be as meaningful to everyone across the board. Right. And so what this one floating holiday is going to allow our employees to do is really choose a holiday that's meaningful for them. And it recognizes a day that's important to them. So,
that's awesome.
One religious holiday may be really important to one individual, where a totally different holiday is, but they can choose that time. And so they have one floating holiday that now moving forward, they're going to be able to elect.
That's really creative. And I can see that for individuals, they would feel like, wow, not only did I have some input in this, but I'm being recognized for who I am by the organization. Oh, good for you. And it's great to hear, like benefits, compensation, none of this can be static. So it's great to hear that you've worked so hard to get feedback and look at new ways to keep progressing and improving your benefits program. And I will add too, you mentioned getting the feedback and the input from employees. We did a webinar previously about how to use stay interviews. So not only waiting until the employee leaves and doing an exit interview, but doing a stay interview. So there's lots of ways to gather employee input while they're an employee, but stay interviews is one way to do that, a structured stay interview model. And if people are interested, you can send me a message in LinkedIn or an email, and I will send you the link to the webinar we did about stay interviews. So I just wanted to mention that as well. Awesome. Okay, great. So I'll let you carry on with your list and your items under compensation and benefits that you want to highlight.
Yeah, sure. We're really excited about our retirement too. So Springfield Clinic offers traditional and Roth 401k options. And then we have matching and profit sharing. That's up to 6.7% total. And that's broken down as a 1% match and then profit sharing up to 5.7%. So when you look at that 6.7 number altogether, it's definitely top 25th percentile in healthcare. So we're really excited about that. And another change going forward as well is that employees used to have to work for 1 year before they were eligible for profit sharing. And going forward, employees are going to be eligible starting right away once they get here.
Wow.
So we're excited about that change as
cool.
well. Them plan for their futures.
Yeah.
Another cool feature or an app that we offer to our employees is the Calm app. So Springfield Clinic offers a free premium subscription to the Calm app. And I didn't know much about this before it was announced, but I've downloaded it and I've been using it like weekly.
Yeah,
it's
great.
It's pretty cool.
Wow.
So there's different meditations and music and workouts that you can do, things like that. Anybody who's been in recruitment knows how stressful recruiting can be. So sometimes it's nice to, take your eyes off the screen for a while, do some deep breathing exercises and get back to it.
For sure.
That's
that's great. I'll have to check that out.
Yeah.
Good idea. That's a great idea.
And then in addition to that, there's a lot of employee discounts that are offered too. So like some local gym memberships, some phone plans through like AT&T and Verizon. We offer discounts on those as well.
Okay.
And then like travel, concerts, events, things like that. We have a whole list of all of our offerings on our intranet page. So definitely something that our employees can take advantage of as well.
Awesome. That's great. Yeah, Krista said that her company has the Calm app as well, and she loves it. Such a great trick to offer employees. She says, I have the waves on multiple times a day. I guess you guys will know what she's referring to about the
yeah.
Yes.
Yes.
And,
That's awesome.
And she pretends she's by the ocean.
Krista, I do the same. I hear you loud and clear. I know it'll run in the background for me. So
Fantastic. Oh, that's neat. That's a great idea. Good. Okay, awesome.
Yeah.
Thanks. And I think you have one more item under employee.
Yeah. So, as we look at, improving health and the benefits that we offer, we really want to take an all-encompassing approach, not just medical or dental, but, we also have implemented a really robust EAP program. So our employee assistance program allows, it is available to all of our employees, but also any household member. So this does not have to pertain to someone who's covered on their insurance or is maybe a dependent. It could even be a roommate. We understand that our employees are impacted by what's happening in their household, right? So if their roommate's struggling with something, that's going to impact them. And so we also offer our EAP program to any household member that this is of our employees. This includes 6 free sessions per topic per year.
Wow.
And then in addition to that, we also offer time with a financial advisor, time with legal assistance, if you're trying to set up a will or something like that. But then it even entails things like if you need a pet care option, who do you call when you're going out of town and you need someone to watch your pet? So, identity theft, elder care, legal assistance, it's really all encompassing, but a tremendous benefit that we can't speak highly of it enough.
Yeah, wow. People need support sometimes, right? And they to get through some difficult times, and that's a really critical way to do it. You mentioned that help with a financial advisor, and again, referring to one of the webinars we did recently about the impact of inflation on recruitment and retention. That was one of the suggestions that came up. Help your employees to, if they're having financial difficulties, give them the access to a financial planner to help get through some difficult times. So that's fantastic.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, and I think it's beneficial because there are even webinars that we put out on a monthly basis that are connected to our EAP program, and that goes out in our engagement newsletter where we're saying, hey, here are the 2 webinars that are coming up this month. And it's normally pertains to the season that they're in, or things that may be going on throughout the year.
That's great. Well, thanks for that. That you've really looked at benefits and compensation. It looks like to me in a really comprehensive way and a really creative way. So those are some great examples. Thanks so much for sharing all of that. And then the number 5 item that I know you wanted to mention in terms of some of the 5 reasons why your employees love working for you is about the SC experience, Springfield Clinic experience platform. Tell us about that.
Yeah, so our SC experience is actually a project team that we have put together. And as we looked at healthcare and how we have been providing service to our patients, our goal is really not only to give great care. I mean, every healthcare organization hopefully wants to provide great care, but our goal was to also create that really warm and inviting experience where our patients leave and they say, oh my goodness, they truly cared about me and they really value me. And so, we kind of took a step back and said, how do we create a better experience for our patients? I mean, like I mentioned before, yes, we work here, but we're also patients too. And, how do we create an experience where we, as employees, are recommending Springfield Clinic to our friends and our family? And so we really focused on creating a really great experience by rolling out this SC experience program. And so we have focused, again, with the help of so many departments. This is a multi-department project. We have focused on, providing additional customer service training. We have really focused on creating better branding so that when our patients walk in, they say, hey, that's a Springfield Clinic employee and they can help me. We have looked at utilizing new technology to create faster and more efficient check-ins in the process. We looked at how can we make paying bills easier, but how do we really create that engaging and warm environment? And as we've rolled this out, I mean, this is something our employees have just latched onto. It's been a lot of fun to see. They're excited about it, and they're excited about the feedback that we're now getting from our patients. And so it's neat because we're getting feedback as our patients have their appointments, they have the experience, they're getting a link through their phone, they're completing surveys and they're filling these things out, telling us about their experience. And based on the changes that we've made, we have seen significant improvements in the feedback that our patients are giving us. Then we're turning around, we're giving that feedback to the staff that those positive words were about, and it's engaging them. So it's just almost this loop where we're really putting these steps and implementing these things in to make it really positive and great for our patients, but it's having a really positive impact on our staff too.
Well, it's always nice to hear a feedback from a client that is about you specifically, positive feedback, but beyond that, just the fact that your patients are satisfied, they're maybe more relaxed, the process is more efficient, that's going to affect your entire workplace, other patients, the staff. We've heard so much about how it's gotten harder and harder to work in healthcare, especially through COVID, sometimes some really stressful environments. But if you can do this to try and make the situation better for the patients, of course, it's going to impact your employees, and improve their workplace.
Right. Yeah, absolutely. And, as we get the feedback, they might say, hey, so-and-so did a great job. We're going back to that person and saying, hey guys, look, so-and-so just had this awesome comment. And then we're celebrating that person through the comment and the feedback. So it's really awesome to see, how it's just, again, a kind of a continuous loop, and we're utilizing our patient feedback to really reward our staff and make them feel valued. So
great. Well, congratulations on that. That's a challenging area by itself. So sounds like you've made great strides.
Yeah, thank you. Yeah, it's been fun to see. Like I said, it is truly it takes everyone across the board. These things that we've mentioned, these are not just HR initiatives. We've definitely had a role in a lot of these, but it takes so many people, and it truly takes a really strong leadership team to create a culture where across the board, we're creating these opportunities and we're, making people feel valued. It takes everyone, putting their heads together and being supportive of something like this. For
sure. Yeah. And it's all of these things, and you've listed 5 areas, and of course I know there's a lot more than that your organization is doing and other organizations are doing. These are really great examples that people can focus on and maybe think about some of the real specific examples within each of the 5 areas. So thanks for sharing that. And again, as you say, the company culture is so important to both identifying these as important and supporting change in those areas, and then improving things for your clients and your team. So on that note, how do these 5 areas that you worked on, plus all the other activities happening within the organization, How are you seeing that they're affecting your, and we're going to focus on talent acquisition because that's our main area at Applichat. How does that affect your employee recruitment and also employee retention efforts? What are you seeing in terms of results?
Yeah.
Yeah, I think all of this stuff can only help that area. We're taking feedback that we're getting from our employees, and a lot of the hires we get are from referrals. So when they tell their friends about all these changes that Springfield Clinic has, for the better, how their benefits are getting better, how the culture is getting better, I think that only helps with retention in the long run.
Yeah, it's been really interesting because I think healthcare as an organization, we all really saw this trend, right? Where people are calling it the Great Resignation, and we of course, I think every organization had some turnover. Ours was not nearly as high as the national average, but what we really started seeing is what we were calling boomerang candidates, where people are like, grass isn't greener on that side. I'm coming back. I love the culture of Springfield Clinic, and we, Jake does the recruiting for RNs and LPNs. And, I know that there were a number of people that we had talked through where we were seeing that, people were saying, hey, actually, I'm coming back.
Yeah,
awesome. So that's a really great thing.
Mm-hmm. That's fantastic. Well, yeah, boomerang employees is a really valuable source, right? These are employees who know your organization. Maybe they've left for really important reasons for them, but as you say, they've identified something about maybe where they are now or something about what they left behind with you as a good reason to come back to you. And I'll give a plug for one of our previous webinars that we did, again, on the boomerang employees and how to really tap into that as a source of recruitment for healthcare organizations. So again, if anyone is interested in that, shoot me a LinkedIn message or an email, and I'll send you that link. You can find it on our YouTube channel. This webinar we're doing today will also be on our YouTube channel, so you can filter through and find all those there as well. But that's really interesting. Thanks so much for sharing that. And Jacob, I know you're a little bit newer, at least newer than Elizabeth at Springfield Clinic. You came to Springfield early on in the days of COVID, which is a really interesting time to be changing jobs. Why don't you share with us what that experience is like?
Yeah, so one of the themes you probably heard today throughout the message is just that employees are at the heart of every decision that we make at Springfield Clinic. And I can speak to that personally. Prior to joining the clinic, I was with another healthcare organization in town. And like so many of us during COVID-19, I was affected by furloughs. And at that time, saw that Springfield Clinic was still hiring. And I was like, that's crazy. Like everyone else is cutting back and laying off. So really amazing opportunity to join the team. And all throughout COVID, Springfield Clinic did not lay off any employee or do any furloughs, anything like that. So really speaks to how much they care about their employees.
Fantastic.
Yeah. During COVID, we really got creative with, we knew that a lot of our employees were being impacted, and we knew that their families were being impacted. And so we came up with a few creative ways to ensure that our employees continued getting a paycheck, even if they had to take some time because maybe they had COVID. Maybe they didn't have any PTO time. How are we going to make sure they continue getting paid and are really taken care of? So we got some great people out of it. So we're happy with that.
Yeah, great case example. That's awesome. And here we are today. That's awesome.
That's right.
Well, thanks for sharing that. So we do have one question, and before I post that on the screen, I'll mention also we do periodically survey nurses in the US and Canada about their experience in their workplace. We're asking a question now of them about what factors they consider when they might refer a friend to come to their workplace or not refer a friend. We have a number of surveys that we've asked of nurses, questions that we've asked of nurses, and we can share that with anyone. So again, send me an email or a LinkedIn message, and we will get those surveys over to you if you're interested in those. So I wanted to mention that. And then we did have a question, I'm going to put it on the screen here, about foreign medical graduate employees. So the Shatanaya is asking if Springfield Clinic has any supports, any initiatives to support hiring people who've been trained outside of the US.
Yeah, really great question. And thank you for your comment. We appreciate that. So we do have a program. So for example, for individuals who are physicians and they're looking to come on board with us, we do sponsor visas. We do have a program where we would partner really closely with the individual and kind of work through that process. If you are referring to a non-physician program and just something additional in the medical field, we would really just have to kind of take a look at it on a case-by-case basis. We don't tend to sponsor a whole lot. But again, it would just have to involve a further conversation, depending on the role and,
some organizations do have ways of bringing people on who've been trained outside the country in a particular role and then helping them upgrade, as you talked about, similar to what you talked about with your LPN program, helping them get the certificate or what they need to work in the U.S. So
right.
That's an interesting question and an important question as well.
Yeah. But if that was something that you were interested in, please feel free to contact us, and we're happy to connect you with some people and talk with you about additional opportunities.
Oh, that's great. And I did share your LinkedIn on the screen earlier, so if people, they can find you on LinkedIn or check with me and I can point them to you on LinkedIn as well. So perfect. I think we'll close. So that's really helpful, unless other people post a question here, but I think that's really, really useful examples, really interesting, and also really exciting, again, that you were able to propel yourself to the top of the 100, into the list of 100 most loved employers across the U.S. So congratulations again for each of you and your entire team for all the hard work that you're doing throughout the organization, throughout the year, of course. And I want to share again that if people are interested in learning about future webinars, you can also watch our previous webinars. We have a newsletter, as Alice mentioned, a Facebook group, and to learn about what we do at Applichat Healthcare to help organizations find more nurses, to bring a bigger audience to your vacancies, please reach out to me. My LinkedIn is there on the screen, and also my online business card. I'm posting that in the chat, so you can click on. And you can access all of our resources and then also connect with me there as well. So I wanted to share that. And anything else, Elizabeth and Jake, that you'd like to share before we close?
Not from my end. I just appreciate the opportunity to sit and talk with you and talk with your listeners. It's been fun. So, and we've really appreciated the partnership with Applichat.
Yeah, it's been fantastic. So yeah, thank you so much for having us. It was a great conversation today.
Great. Yeah, we've enjoyed the partnership, and I really appreciate your willingness to put yourself out there for the first time for both of you on a webinar. Thanks so much for sharing all of that.
Thanks, Patrick.
Thank you.
Have a good week. Thanks, everyone, and we'll see you on future webinars.
All right. Thanks. Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.